I'm David Cornish. I'm part of the AXO Global Sustainability team for Decorative, and my particular area is looking after waste and not wasting stuff if we can possibly avoid it. I divide what we're doing into two areas. The first is what we're doing in terms of the products. We've been working on making paint more sustainable in every sense of the word for years. This isn't a new thing. It goes back to taking lead out of paint in the 1970s. But increasingly over the last few years, we've driven more and more towards having a product that has less and less impact on the environment, both in the raw materials that we use and in the way the coating itself reacts with the environment. We've worked very, very hard to refine our water-based products down to their low or no VOC, and also perform as well as they ever did. And that's a really difficult balance to make, because we do know that although we want to make our products as sustainable as they possibly can be, there is no room for compromise when it comes to the quality of the products, the price of the products, and the things that our customers want from that product. I mean, you can ask that question on many levels, can't you? I mean, I think we all know why it's important in terms of the future of the planet and our own well-being. But for a business, it's increasing our license to operate. You can't be a successful business nowadays unless you take sustainability very seriously indeed. And it's not a topic that sits by the side. It really has to be woven into the DNA of everything that we do. It's a total part of our business. So we have to do all the things we need to do and not sacrifice any of the things that makes the brand great. Wall paints, water-based paints, we know are a slightly easier area. Solvent-based paints are the challenge. How do we make trim paints on a water-based formulation that perform as well as a solvent-based? That's tough, and there are inevitably going to be a few compromises. And our mission there is to, rather than direct, to encourage people to use water-based products. There are a lot of positives. I use them myself in my house. We know what the advantages are. There's lower smell, lower odour. They stay whiter for longer. They're quick drying, and those are real positive benefits. You don't have to make those things up. I mean, that's what people experience. To get that, yes, you trade off a little bit in terms of flow out, you trade off a little bit in terms of sheen level, and that comes down to customer choice. And what we try and do is to make those water-based products perform as well as we possibly can with the technologies we have, and then put that choice in front of the customer. And so you choose, and for trade users particularly, what does your client want? Does your client want the traditional high sheen, or will they actually want the building finished quicker and the paint to stay looking better longer? Dulux are one of the leaders now in moving to water-based products as alternatives to solvent-based products. We've got some wonderful technology in the Sickins brand in Europe that's being brought into Dulux trade in the UK, and I think that is something that has made even the more die-hard skeptics and more traditional painters and specifiers sit up and take notice. I'm very excited by some of those products, not just for the trade market, but for the DIY market as well. And that may be just the step change we've been looking for. In terms of what's next, I think it's finishing the priority's got to be finishing the job on the moving from solvent-based to water-based products. And that's obviously in traditional paints. There's the area of wood stains to look at. There's still some work to be done there, and we shouldn't take our eye off that ball. My own particular enthusiasm, if you look a lot further out, is how do we start looking at paints with recycled content? Do we get recycled raw materials? Can we collect paint back from the waste stream and feed that into new products? And that saves a lot of carbon, because 60–70% of our carbon footprint comes from raw material extraction. If we can bring back waste and thereby avoid digging up new raw materials, that's a big saving. So I'm personally very passionate about that. That's the area that I'm working on. And if you look at parallel industries, many other people are doing this already, so I see no reason why we can't be big in that area.